Hello everyone, my name is Leo Bell and I'm going to talk to you briefly about some of the services that we offer here at Sutton Uplift, both within the wider IAPT, which stands for IAPT, Improving Access to Psychological Treatments, and also the Wellbeing team, both of which are provided here at Sutton Uplift. So as we're all aware, we all have times in our lives where things are not going as great as maybe we'd like. This can be both some recent stresses that have come into our life. They could be personal or professional, but it could also be stuff related to the future, feeling anxiety and worry about what's to come. And it can also be stuff that's related about the past, so any guilt and shame or anything that kind of weighs heavily on you. I talk very often about how we walk around with backpacks, these sort of figurative backpacks that we put all of our stresses and all of our emotions in. And so it's very helpful for us to sometimes unpack our backpack, see what's in there, show other people, see if they can help, or maybe tell us that we don't need to put stuff in our backpack, and figure out ways that other people have dealt with things that they come with time to time in their daily lives and stresses. So we all, just like any sort of physical sort of issue, we can all have these sort of well-being issues as well. And my team offers, so we can consider my team, the wellbeing team, to be step one, sort of the entry level into Sutton Uplift. We provide practical support for better wellbeing and overall emotional health and wellbeing. We consider it across 5 different pillars. So we have emotional well-being, social well-being, physical well-being, mental well-being, and spiritual well-being. And those being the 5 pillars that we sort of talk about, as in you want to make sure that you cover all 5 of those at any time in your life in order to feel as great as you can within yourself. The wellbeing team offer this in, well, there's 3 main ways in which that we can do this for you. The first is with our online group workshops, which are available through Eventbrite. If you type in Sutton Uplift Eventbrite, you're going to find a link. The other way that we can do this is we can also offer these workshops on a one-to-one basis. If you go to our Eventbrite link, you'll see that there's an option for 2 tickets. One ticket will be for a group workshop, which will be at a slated time, maybe face-to-face in the community within Sutton or in person, or they will be available as a one-to-one. And what you can do is that you can request, you can buy a ticket for free, and then what will happen is I get sort of a notification saying, hey, this person would like help with relaxation and self-care, or self-confidence and assertiveness, overcoming anger and irritability, coping with stress, living with long-term conditions, how to manage sleep, mastering motivation, living well with diabetes, arthritis, heart disease, or long COVID, or even maintaining your well-being as a parent or carer. I get a notification saying someone would like a one-to-one workshop on that, and so I reach out to my team. Someone in my team will then reach out to you to organise a time and a date in which to do that workshop with you. The final way in which the wellbeing team can help individuals is with a series of actual sessions where it's one-to-one, 4 to 6 30-minute sessions where you sit down with a wellbeing navigator, either on the phone or face-to-face, or even online if you wish, and you could sort of talk about the problems that are kind of the issues that are affecting you right now. And then the wellbeing team can kind of, your navigator will come up with ways in which you can kind of cope with these things. So for an example of this would be someone who is stressed about a housing situation. Now, we would not be able to help you specifically with a housing situation. What we can do is that we could link you to one of our partners with Encompass, or we could reach out to the Sutton Mental Health Foundation or similar, and they will be able to help you in that regard. And then what you'll do with the navigator is work on how to cope with that stress and coming up with ways that work for you in how to deal with that stress. So that could be writing a journal. It could be something like practicing mindfulness. It could even be like having a schedule in and having a diary and going for stuff in nature and trying out things and then going back to your navigator and saying what works, what doesn't, and then coming up with a system which works best for you so that when the 4 to 6 sessions are over, you're able to take as best care of yourself as possible, no matter what life throws at you. We in the wellbeing team also work very closely with our partners Off the Record, Sutton Age UK and Sutton Carer Centre. So if you fit into any of those brackets, so Off the Record being for individuals 16 to 25, Sutton Age UK being individuals aged over 50 or 55, and Sutton Carer, so anyone who's sort of a carer, we will also work with those partners in order to make sure that you get the fullest most holistic sort of rounded care possible that is most suitable for you. In terms of what we offer outside of wellbeing here at Sutton Uplift, we also offer psychological therapies through are IAPT services. So these can be considered, so I mentioned that wellbeing was step 1. We could consider IAPT to be sort of step 2 and step 3. So step 2 would be individuals that will have very much cognitive behavioral therapy. So CBT therapy, as it's more often called, and these are most common for anxiety and depression. They are personalized, and you will be given a psychological wellbeing practitioner to work with who is fully qualified, or at least working towards their qualification, and they're supervised very often, so your case is very much looked after in the best hands, and you have this is your person that you work with over a 4 to 16 week period, depending on what's required. Additionally, so outside of step 2, so outside of the cognitive behavioral therapy aspect of things, we also have what's considered step 3, which includes things such as counselling, interpersonal psychotherapy, couples counselling, couples therapy, and all those sort of things. And it's like you sort of try to imagine it as though it's a step model in terms of the more you go up the ladder, the more qualified the practitioner you'll be working with and the more experience they will have. That's essentially it in terms of what we offer. Although there is one actual thing that I should mention, in that if you work with step 2 or step 3, you will also have access to our employment service, which will help you. So very often employment can be a source of stress, and if you work with step 2 or step 3, you will be able to work one-to-one, not just with a psychological wellbeing practitioner or a counsellor. You will also be able to work with an employment specialist that will help you find work in wherever it is that you're trying to get to. In the wellbeing team, if you are struggling with work, we reach out to Sure Trust and Aim for Work, but it's not in-house, as it were. That is a bit like how I was saying, we might sort of put your details within Compass or a housing body in order to help you with a housing situation. It's kind of like that, in the sense that it would not be in-house. We would sort of loan it out, as it were, so that you could get the best advice moving forward. So that's what we do at Sutton Uplift. I hope that this has been informative and useful for you. And if you have any questions, you can call the numbers on the screen. If I go back down to them, so we have 2 numbers, free phone and an 0203 number. We also have an email address, and you can also go on our website and complete a referral form if you feel that this is something you're interested in. Referrals can be by yourself, they can also be by your GP, they can also be through a professional party. So for example, if you were to reach out to Sutton Age UK, Off the Record, or Sutton Carer Centre, they might well refer you onto our services as well. So I hope this has been useful, and I look forward to seeing you soon.